What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. My name is Ryan Styles Harris, and we are going to have some fun tonight. We got a special guest in store for you guys, the one and only, the master of carpet and AstroTurf, and just an all-around phenomenal driver. Michal Orlowski will be joining us on the video tonight. Super pumped about that. So if you guys have any questions for him, he will be here. You can drop that question in there, and he will answer it. Oh man, this is good. This feels good to be back on a live stream. How's everybody doing tonight? Cheers to those that are enjoying a cold one. Love to enjoy one with you guys. Yeah, man. Feeling good. Got this buttery background. Look at this, guys. Got my 5D Mark IV chilling up there. Nice little prime lens on it. Getting this bokeh-licious background. Look at that. Look at this light over here. Look at that thing. Oh, so smooth. You know, get these webcams out of here. Gotta step up the game, you know, get that production value going. Jump into the chat here, see if any of you guys are saying hello. If you guys want to, feel so inclined, share the stream with your friends, get some more people in here having some fun. See if everybody's tuning in. If you guys are watching from the UK or Europe or basically anywhere outside of the United States, I apologize as we got a little bit of a time difference, but you know how it goes. Us United Statesians, Americans, got to get them when they're awake, you know? So let's see here. Who we got in here? Oh, look at you guys. We got so many people in the chat already, getting this stream just rolling. Noijuel says, hey Ryan, what's up, dude? How you doing? Good to see you in the chat. Let's see. Michal, he's in the chat already. See, he's fast. He's fast everywhere. He's in the chat already. Having a blast. Adam Simpson says, who's got AE? Nobody. Get out. No, I'm just kidding, man. Glad you're in here. Just Will 75 says, he's here. We can start now. Dude, you're here. We're starting. I'm glad you're here, man. Welcome. Tom Erickson says, Michal is awesome. Already getting some love for Michal. Dude, you're awesome. I'm glad you guys are here. Hoping we're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to jump into watching some video clips with Michal, some of his racing action from some recent races here at the Reedy Race, and we might look at some carpet action as well. Going to take a look at some setup stuff, talk about some carpet stuff going on, see what he's got to say, see if he can give me some speed secrets to going faster, because I'm not good at carpet. Last time I went out, I got my butt whooped real bad. So we'll pull up a setup sheet, see what he has to say about it, see if he can give us some tips. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump in here real quick. Oh. Looks like we got a donation already. Guys, 275 Autosport jumping in with a $10 dono right off the bat with a thank you. Thank you. You know, I never really try to promote and say, hey guys, give me money, because you know, that's not really what I'm here to do. I'm here to entertain you guys first and foremost. But if you do feel so inclined, this is kind of one of the only opportunities that you can throw like a donation to the channel, because I don't have like a Patreon or anything else. So if you do feel so inclined, you can throw a donation in here, and it'd be probably the best way to make sure I see your questions and stuff like that. So thank you very much, 275 Automotive. Let's go ahead and get Michal on the line so we can see what the man himself, all the way from Poland, has to say. One moment, and we will get him in here. Got to find the window. Hang on. I know how to make a computer work. Here we go. Here we go. We're almost there, people. Bear with me. He's waiting so patiently. I can see him. It's here. It's here. Oh, gotta unmute him. Okay, there we go. Full view. There it is. Okay. And quick hot transition coming in. Michal Orlowski, ladies and gentlemen. Michal, give me a quick mic check. Let's see if we got you.
What's up, everyone? I hope you're watching around the world. It's 3 a.m. in Europe, so I hope there are at least some Europeans here.
Oh man, 3 a.m. What a champ. He's, you know, when we were setting this stream up, I was like, hey dude, do you want to do a stream? And he's like, yeah. And then I said, do you want to do it at like 9 p.m. Eastern? He's like, yeah, that's really late, but we'll make it work. So, Michal, thank you so much for being a
No
champ
worries.
and doing the time difference for us.
Thank you for having me. Having me, it will be a blast for sure.
Yeah. So, dude, we're on like lockdown at the moment and all that jazz. What have you been up to, man?
Well, I finished school last Friday, so I have some free time as well, but I'm trying to do some social media. As some of you might have seen, I started a YouTube channel and just trying to get to people and just share the information I have covered throughout my career, and basically just get to people, have a just have an audience so I can share with someone, and just trying to get myself busy during this time at home and doing some stuff that is very productive for my career and for you guys.
That's awesome, man. You really have kind of jumped into there's kind of a couple different categories for people when they're just getting their social media thing going, like the YouTube channel and Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And you definitely have like a legitimate camera setup. You've already taken that step. And if you guys haven't watched his videos already, I encourage you go check him out because he gets a nice little setup with a table. He's got the banner behind him and he jumps into some really great stuff to try and help you guys figure out your RC stuff. So, Michal, thank you that you are one of the few that puts in a nice solid production effort into what you got going on, man.
Yeah, it's quite tough actually. I thought it would be like quite easy. Now I have a camera, like I start with my phone, and then just do some little videos for you guys. And then I looked into like more detail in more depth, and it was so overwhelming. All of this stuff here.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to learn from the best like you, and trying to do my best in the social media game as well.
Well, thank you for the compliments, the kind words, and thank you for doing what you're doing. I really hope that you continue what you're doing and having a good time there because I know that the people are going to enjoy it and it only gets better with time. When you have a technical malfunction meltdown, you figure it out once and then you go on to the next time and you're like, that ain't going to happen again. I got that on lock. So you're going to be
Yeah,
just fine, man.
it's like anything in our life. You need to practice, gain the experience, and then with time you get better. So I think it's exactly the same in the social media. You just need to practice, make those videos, and then with time it will get better. Definitely, if you put in the time
Yeah.
to it.
Because I know you're not going to say anything, and I know how difficult it is to get it set up because I'm using one right now. But I want everybody to know this watching. Michal, he had his super bougie camera as his webcam, but just some technical difficulties that we couldn't get sorted out yesterday, so where we could get the video and the audio all synced up perfectly so that it was nice and crispy for you guys. So he had to settle and use his I don't know if you're using your phone or your laptop at the moment, but you had it, you're there. It just, we got to dial some stuff in for the next one.
I was this close to get my camera working, but I have my phone and I hope it's pretty good, and I have the audio here, so it should be fine for now, and hopefully soon I'll get it working next time.
But for now it's looking good, sounds good, so we definitely have some video for today. So okay, we're gonna jump into I think it'd be kind of fun right off of the bat, maybe give people just a little bit of preference of or explanation of your specialty, like kind of what you race in particular, and then we're going to jump into some race footage here in a second of Michal, and it's kind of like not the opposite of what your specialty is, but it's definitely not something you do all the time. So I won't say any more, but Michal, can you tell the people kind of like what you race primarily?
Yeah, maybe I'll just tell a bit about myself. I'm from Poland. I drive for Schumacher Racing. I usually run on carpet because that's the most popular surface in Europe, and I race in Europe basically, like the EOS series and just the European Championships. And yeah, I specialize in carpet. Of course, I run a bit of dirt, clay. I've been to Reedy Race in California a few times already, and also AstroTurf racing. I've been to Connecticut to RC Madness, to their carpet and AstroTurf track. So I've been traveling all around the world racing RC cars and enjoying myself every time out there.
Ooh, Question. I just now thought of this spur of the moment. Because I know the one carpet track that I have here in Florida, Beachline Raceway. It's like a black CRC carpet event. Are you gonna come there? Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe I have a few trips to US
Okay.
planned already, so I'm not going to give away any details right now. But I
Understand.
think you guys from US can expect me a few times per year over the racing different surfaces like Reedy Race, maybe some carpet, maybe some turf as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, when you plan that trip, definitely keep me posted so that
Of course,
I
I will.
can
I will.
observe your masterful driving in person. It's truly amazing to watch from a desktop. So seeing it in person is definitely really cool. Okay, so forgive me. I have to jump to my main shot here so that I can get our other shot set up real quick. So if you don't mind me, we're just gonna look at
Yeah.
that little transition for a moment, and we'll be right back with Michal. Oh man, looks good every time. All right, so I gotta change around the zoom and all that stuff so that I can get everything set up with Michal. And actually, let me take this second here to look at the chat, make sure I'm not missing anything good here. Oh, looks like Tom, he's in there blowing up the chat. He says his Cat L1 Evo wants to eat. Is that the one is that what you use right now, Michal?
Yes, sir. That's
Okay.
the one.
Okay.
That's the beast.
John Lepodota, I don't know. Lepodota says, his accent is
Lopedota.
yeah, his accent is fake, and yeah, no, definitely not fake. Let's see. Okay, all right, looks like we're good there. So we are going to jump into something that's a little bit, uncharacteristic for Michal, and I kind of want to get his input because it's something that we here in the States are really familiar with, the Reedy Race of Champions. He went there in 2019 and he raced in the invitational class, meaning that you are super cool, super fast, and you have proved your worthiness and you can join them. So we got something queued up here and I want to jump into it with Michal. We're almost there. Getting it set up. Okay, that looks good. Sorry, guys. Live broadcast. It's a challenge, but we're doing it. We're doing it. Do this. Look at it. Theater mode. All right, we're almost there. Thank you guys for your patience and bearing with me. Like I mentioned before, if you guys are just joining us on the stream, thank you. Welcome. Glad you're here. Having a lot of fun. Just hanging out. Talking about RC stuff. Got a different sounding fella over there from Poland. And huge shout out and thank you to him. He's on the video live stream with us tonight for the QUARANSTREAM number 2. And we are about to watch a little bit of some Reedy Race action with Michal himself. And he's going to hopefully give us a little bit of narrative and insight as to what we got going on here. So let me jump back over to the screen with him in it. Okay. Let me move you over just a little bit so everybody can see. There we are. We're off in the corner. Hey guys, what's going on? All right. Michal, you're still with us, right?
I am.
Okay. So here we go. This is, as the title says, hopefully you guys can see that there on the stream, the 2019 Reedy Invitational Off-Road Race of Champions. This was round number 5 in the 4-wheel drive class. We pulled this one up because Michal said that even though this isn't like his forte, he was actually doing really good. So Michal, can you kind of tell us the mindset that you had going into this race before the tone went off?
Yeah, so this was round 5. Overall, my 4-drive event that year was pretty good. Going into the last 2 rounds, I had a few top 3 finishes already in the first 4 rounds. My car was really good. I was really enjoying myself out there, and I had some luck and some bad luck as it is at the real race in the invitational class always.
Hmm.
So basically, I was going into the last two rounds. It was the second day of racing. Just just being confident and hoping for the best result. Trying to be consistent as the track layout was quite easy. And yeah, just having a good fresh mind going to the last two rounds, trying to have the best finishing result in the four drive class.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's start this bad boy and let's see where it goes. Oh, hang on. I want to get some sound in here. Sorry, guys. Let me pause one other thing here. Jump back to my other screen. Sorry. This will be the last time this happens. There's a lot of different audio feeds that I got to get sorted before we can do this. So I apologize for the unprofessional preparation on my part here. Where are you?
Beginner's mistake.
I know. I got a tab in here that's making noise and I gotta pause it. I think I did it. Did I do it? There we go. Okay. No, there it is. Okay, I think I did it. Sorry, guys. Apologize. One of these days I'm gonna get in just the perfect stream, but apparently it's not today. All right, here we go. Let me jump back into this. Go into theater mode. Oh, actually, I misspoke. We'll see in a second here, but because this one has a good start. We're gonna watch round 4 before we watch round 5, because that's what I initially meant to do. So
On TQ.
yeah. Starting from the pole position here. So actually, let me just make this full screen. Why not? There we go. We have the power to do it. Let me keep us down here in the corner. That'll be safe. All right, here we go.
Alrighty, good luck, drivers. We're going racing.
Good old Scotty on the horn.
The best.
And here we go.
Got Michal.
Heat number 1, round number 4.
Looking
Four-wheel
good.
drive.
Is that Dakota?
Michal Orlowski from
Yep.
Poland in the Schumacher.
Yuna behind you.
Rocking
Oh,
raw, turning it a bit
Oh.
early. Dakota
What?
gets popped up behind him. Dakota
Wait, where are
gets the
you?
worst of that one.
So embarrassing now.
Fourth. Okay.
As it
So
shuffles
wait,
around.
I actually want to hear your opinion. What happened there when?
Probably a beginner's mistake from my side this time. First lap pressure from the TQ spot.
Okay, so just nerves. It just kind of got to you.
Probably, it was a really tiny mistake because I went just tiny bit too tight
Yeah.
on that corner, and it usually like those tiny errors that you just like clip the inside pipe of a corner. They just come from the pressure. That is too high at that moment because your fingers they shake a little bit and then you move a bit too much, use a bit too much
Oh,
steering.
yeah.
So usually those tiny mistakes that you do at the beginning of the run are the mistakes that were caused by the lack of like concentration at the first lap because you need to get into the rhythm and like you always do the first lap a bit more careful so you get into the rhythm
Right.
and then start putting better laps. So I think I was trying to be too cautious and not enough concentration and a bit too much pressure.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right.
that was a silly mistake, but I wasn't too unlucky because I still got away with fourth after the first lap, so it's not too bad.
Okay. All right. Let's see what we got going on here in the next couple laps.
My good friend Yona leading the race.
Joona Hannen, the youngster from Finland, leading away. Followed by the red, white, and blue there, Jared Tebow. Ronafalk going on the outside. Makes the pass at a 2 spot. Down the line they go. It is Hannen out front, followed by Ronafalk. Down the associated step down
So
they go.
okay, I have a question.
Fire.
So you started on the pole, and I kind of know how this feels, where you're like, okay, if anyone's faster than me, they're gonna have to pass me. And so then you start the race, you go, and you're like, okay, I just got to put in laps and just keep the distance. But then you gave it up on the first lap. does that really affect you like mentally for the rest of the race, or are you able to just kind of like it's in the past and you just move on? Like, how does that affect you for the rest of the race?
Yeah, it's a very important like mental preparation for every driver. I feel like when you make a mistake at the beginning of the run, it's like the worst thing that can happen to a driver if he's not too strong mentally, because that mistakes causes you to like panic for a second, and then you're thinking that you have to do like really fast laps right now to get back to the spot where you started. So you're
Mm.
trying to push really hard, and then next mistake happen, and then you find yourself last with a couple of seconds behind, like ninth.
Now,
So it's really difficult. But so I'm just out. Like my thinking right now is I'm still fourth. I'm close to the leader. I need to go. I need to get into the rhythm, stay behind them, and wait for mistakes. That's basically the mindset right now.
okay, I like that. All right, let's see. Let's see if you're gonna chase these guys down.
Hotning out front. Rocking the Associated. Right behind him in the hot bodies there is Ronafalk, followed by the Techno there. Jared Tebow. Behind him in the Schumacher there of Orlowski. Right behind him, the Associate there, Brock Champlin, followed by the X-Ray there, Ty Tessman.
They're definitely not gapping you. You're there.
Single file behind the leader. Hotman, Ronafalk, Tebow, and Orlowski across the stripe. 3.5 long minutes to go. A little short there by Ronafalk, but he saves it. Here through the J concept, double-double. Took a look to the inside, nothing there. Hotman keeping that door slammed.
Do you race a lot with Yona?
Oh yeah, like every EOS round.
Okay.
He's there, I'm there. So we race quite a lot together.
So be honest. He's out front, and you know you have to chase him down and pass him. Is that like a, oh yeah, I can do that? Or you're like, oh crap.
I don't know. He's a really good driver, and he does extremely well at the Reedy Race.
Okay.
So I was just trying to stay with the top three, because I knew I had the pace in me in the car. So I knew I just have to stay clean and wait for them to make mistakes. As you see, Jared making just tiny errors here, but I'm still staying patient because I know there's lots of time left in this race.
Top four now trying to break away from the field. So it is Hotman, Ronafalk again, trying different lines down the staircase.
Your car looks very calm. Like it's not, you're not doing anything crazy with it. It just looks nice and planted, and you're just kind of hitting your lines.
Yeah, that was a huge thing at the Reedy Race in 2019 with my cars. That was probably the first year my cars really worked. Oh.
Oh. So you got Ronafalk. So do you race with Ronafalk a lot?
Well, he's rather an A-scale driver, so he doesn't race too much tank scale, but basically sometimes he does the EOS rounds, like in Germany this year. In January he was there, and then some of the European championships in tank scale he also races, but not as much as like with Yona or other European drivers like Lee or Neil Craig.
Okay.
Jared Tebow, Michal Orlowski, Yona Honda, top four breaking from the field. Champlin, Tessman, Fenn, Codera, Sturdy, and Horn.
If I had to guess, like just based on what your car looks like watching it go around a corner and just under braking, it doesn't look like it's responding or reacting much to like the bumps in the track. What would you say that is in their setup, or am I wrong?
Well, I think this was basically, I think first thing is the geometry of our car.
Okay.
We've worked quite a lot on it to make the suspension work, and we figured out that it's not exactly only about the shock setup and how your shocks work. You need the whole geometry of the car to work together. And then it doesn't really matter if your shocks are extremely good or they're like just average. The car will land and handle the bumps quite good. So I think it comes to the geometry of our car, and then of course the shock setup that we developed when we tested in San Diego a few days prior to the Reedy Race.
Like that, coming onto the straightaway, the way that you're able to jump and land like on power, that just speaks to a really well set up car.
Yeah, that was probably one of the places that I would gain the most time over there. A few like team leaders from our other brands commented that my car looked the best at that event from any other car on the track. So that was really nice to hear, and I really felt that my car was really good out there.
Wow. Oh, man.
At the Reedy Race, when the race finishes, you always hope for someone to crash, or if you're like in fair, you always hope for them to take each other out. So
Right.
that was probably my thinking on the last lap of the because I knew I wanted to win that round, because actually before actually during that round I had never won a hit at the Reedy Race. So I was doing quite well in the 4-drive class in 2019, but I've never won before a hit at the Reedy Race. I really was eager to get the win over there.
You could tell that you were really close. You were feeling it because you were there. You were at the front. They didn't pull away, so it was like really close to coming to fruition in that race. And that's so much. I can't even imagine. Like, I haven't raced at an event that has that high a stakes ever, so I can only imagine how my mental state would be in the middle of that race. You know, if I got the draw, started on the pole, and then piped it, I probably would have broken my car by that point.
through the radio of the driver's stand.
Yeah. Okay, let me queue up another one here. So I got to jump back to my other camera real quick. I'm gonna take a look at the chat, see if you guys have any questions.
I can read through some of them.
Okay. Jumping into the chat here. Hope you guys are enjoying it. If you have any questions for Michal. No. I don't want to watch that right now. Sorry, guys. All right, let me see where we're at here. Tom says, I need a producer like Howard Stern. That would be really nice if you had another guy manning everything, so then all I got to do is just talk and do finger guns. That'd be really great. But that is not the case. We are doing things ourselves, and that is okay with me. It is fine. Let's see. Stephanie Frey. Oh, it must have been at the start of the event there. She says, the voice of RC, definitely referring to the one and only Scotty Ernst. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Oh, my good buddy Eric Beaton jumping into the chat with his super famous I love you comment. Everybody give some love to Eric in the chat. If you guys watch that video I made of the little the animations with the little Halo figures, I know that one was like really way out in left field, and some of you may have been like, what the heck was that? My good buddy Eric, he is a stop motion animation specialist, and he's done a lot of work for some major brands out there. If you guys haven't checked out his stuff, it's just really cool. So we've always wanted to do a video together, and I thought, hey, we're all bored and stuck at home, so why not try to make one of those and make some silly voices and have some fun with you guys. So that's where that came from. That's who it is. Eric, thank you. I love you, man. Hope you're doing good. And say hi to your dog for me. All right, who else we got in there? Aaron Talley says, how much did you win? Wait. Oh, if you win Reedy Race? I don't know. What's the payout for Reedy Race? Do you know, Michal?
But you mean from the race organizers?
Is it? I don't know if there's a purse for that event or not.
There isn't any prize money.
No? Okay. Well, it's kind of complicated because I know that there's contractual things that will get payouts based on what your sponsors will do based on the wins. So it's a little complicated, but yeah. Like, hang on. Let me bring you back up here so you can talk to the people. Hang on. He's coming, guys. We can elaborate on this for a second. So like payouts, obviously the way that if anyone's going to make money in RC, it's going to primarily come from your sponsors and your contracts, correct?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know there are a few races that offer prize money. Like there's a series in China. There's like a huge track over there in Xiamen where the 2017 10 scale worlds were.
Okay.
And I think there is a race. I think once per year that there is quite big prize money. And I went to a race in South Korea in 2018, I think that was, where there was some prize money as well. So there are a few, but of course the biggest percentage of the professional RC drivers income is the contracts and what bonuses they have for within some races or podiuming. So
Yeah.
that's where the money comes from for the professional guys.
Most of the guys in the States here, the payouts are going to be for national events. And then it's kind of based on, like, from what I've seen and the contracts that I've looked at, sometimes it'll be like a particular event, but then the prize pool will scale based on entries. I don't know if that's something that applies or you've seen, but I know that that's the way that some of them work out there.
I've never seen a contract based on entries in Europe. From what I know, it's the biggest European series, so like the EOS, ETS, ENS, and then the European Championships, and of course the Reedy Race as well for some of us, and then the Worlds. Obviously, that's the biggest race.
Right, the Worlds, which we could probably actually, if you want to help me, Michal, can you find the one 4-wheel heat where you were doing like a lot of battle up front, and then we can kind of watch that clip and we can talk about that one?
Yeah, I will look into it.
Okay, cool. So Michal's got his laptop there, and then just send me the link when you find it, and then I'll pull it up here. So let me jump back to my main cam here so we can get the next thing set up for us here. All right, let's take a look, see if you guys have any other questions. Hopefully I'm getting all the questions covered for you guys. If you're just tuning in, welcome guys, thank you. We're chatting it up with the one and only Michal over here from Poland. It's 3 a.m. where he is. Well, now it's getting closer to 4 a.m. Jeez. What a champ. What a trooper. Let's see here. We got a question for Michal. We'll probably come back to that one once I pull him back up here. What's a good cheap beginner 2-wheel drive buggy? My best answer for that one, Mr. Sam, would be, I know that you might stumble across some really great deals for some used stuff, and that's great, but I would hate for you to get stuck in a spot where you buy a buggy that's really old and then you can't find replacement parts for it. Like if you break it and then the local hobby shop says, yeah, we carry that brand, but not that car because that car's 10 years old. So if you're just getting into RC, I would take a look at the brands that are current and the models that are fairly current as well, so that if you run into issues and you break something on the track, it'll be available. Which one in particular? There's a lot of great brands out there. I run all the TLR products. Michal runs the Schumacher cars. So what I would suggest is look at the ones that are going to be somewhat popular in your area. So if you have questions about it or you need help on race day, odds are the guy next to you, he might be able to help you out. So best thing to do would be go check out a local race, see what they got going on, ask some questions, shake a few hands, maybe make a friend or two, and then see what they're running. And then that would be the best way to go about grabbing your first 2-wheel drive buggy. Hopefully that helped you, Sam. Max says, what is the best class to start with? That is the one that is going to be run at your local track. There's a lot of different RC cars out there. A lot of them are super fun. Not all of your tracks are going to run them. So you might find a really cool truck and then go to your track and there isn't a single other one out there to run with you. And then that's a bummer because then they might not be able to let you run on that particular day because they don't have a class. If it's your first time, they'll probably just throw you in whatever class would make the most sense. But what I would say is go to your local track, see what the biggest class is, get an idea of what's going to be run all the time so that when you go to the track, you'll always be able to run it. If I had to make a suggestion, I would probably say 2-wheel drive buggy or 4-wheel drive buggy would be the most popular off-road classes that you'll find at your local track. So good luck, find a local track, and that'll be the best way to get that going for you. We got another one for you. I'll come back to that when I pull you back up here in a second, Michal. Okay. Lots of good questions. Thank you guys for putting those questions in there. I had another thing that I threw up on some Facebook groups where I asked you guys about, hey, do you have setup questions? We'll be answering them on the stream, so we will get to those in a little bit. So if you're watching and you know that you put one there, I won't forget you. We'll get to them in a second. Michal, if you saw some or had any questions that you know you had on a post that you put out there, please let me know so that we can go through those as well.
Yeah, I can see quite a few really good questions in the chat. I'm trying to remember all of them, and then we can answer those. I think some of them are really, really good.
Nice. Good. All right. Let's see here. Okay, I think we're ready to move on. Maybe we'll answer a couple of these questions for you. I'll bring them back up here, get you back on the screen so that you can give the people some answers to their questions. All right, everybody, Michal coming back. Look at that. It was magic. Stream transition went down. There he is. All right, so let's see. Got a couple questions in here for Michal. I know. Oh, I like Stephanie's question. Stephanie, what's up? Thanks for tuning in again. Such a trooper, such a champ. Hope you and the kids are doing good. Or if they're in bed, hopefully they're sleeping soundly. Just hope you guys are doing good overall. Let's see here. Okay, Stephanie said, who was Michal's biggest influence in getting started in RC? That's a good question. Thank you, Stephanie. Michal, what's the answer?
Thank you, Stephanie, for the question. So basically, my dad is probably the biggest influence because he goes to all the races with me, and he has been with me for over 13 years now because I started 13 years ago. So I've been racing for actually a very long time. I'm 18 years old now, so it's way more than half of my life.
Wow, that's awesome.
But actually, my aunt from Germany bought me a RC car, which was a Tamiya Mud Fighter plastic tour drive buggy for kids. So basically, that was my first car. My dad built it for me, and that's how I started. And then it went from there.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I can definitely relate. My dad was the reason why I got in, so I know how that goes.
Yeah, always starts with your dad in RC almost.
Yeah, pretty popular theme. I can agree. Oh, this is an interesting question. Jeff M, what's going on, dude? Thanks for tuning in. He wants to know, and this would be your opinion, why do you think 12th scale is less popular in the States?
Good question. Thanks. Thank you, Jeff. Well, I think from my experience with 12 scale, as some of you may know, I've raced the Worlds this year in the UK, and I've been to European Championships in 12 scale, and it's quite tough, this class. I mean, there's lots of preparations to it, the tire game, tire saucing, chewing the foams, and all that stuff. It's really tough. Luckily, I had my team behind me to do it for me, so I was just there, sitting around, enjoying my time over there, and then going to the driver's stand for 8 minutes.
Okay.
And then having fun out there. So it is a very difficult class, and I think the tire chewing is a pain in the ass. I think for many people, it takes a lot of time as well, and you need to be literally like perfect to tenths of millimeters, because if you make one tire a bit bigger than the other side, the car will feel completely different side to side. So it is quite difficult. But I know many guys from in the US also run it, and some of them came to UK for the Worlds. So it is a difficult class, but it's definitely fun to drive. But you need to put the time in to prepare yourself, and it's definitely not as easy as off-road.
Yeah. I've run 12 scale a little bit. I have a 12 scale car sitting back up somewhere on my shelf back there. I'm interested if you would agree with me, Michal. I've always thought that the two hardest classes to be good at, like I mean good, and be competitive at some level, is a 2-wheel drive buggy and a 12 scale pan car. Those, to me, those two cars can teach you so much about driving and just being good at RC. Like if you can drive either of those well, I believe you can drive anything well. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, 12 scale, like I haven't done so much running in it, and I was able to be competitive straight away in the Worlds and the European Championships previously. So I'm quite lucky to have that, and I agree with you that Tour Drive is probably the hardest class in 10 scale, definitely. And then 12 scale is also very difficult, especially mod with 3.5 full boost. So yeah, it is very difficult. Lots of grip as well. The car is so quick on the track, and it's really difficult to follow the car on the video. When you're driving the car, it's actually not too difficult, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But when I watch the finals or the qualifiers from the Worlds, I'm like after 2 minutes I cannot watch it.
Yeah.
I just lose my concentration, and I cannot. I have to click off and go to another video. But I agree, it's probably two of the most difficult classes. If when we are talking about driving, I think preparing the car is probably Nitro is a bit more difficult, especially for beginners.
Yeah.
As we both know, you started Nitro probably similar time to me.
Yes.
And I've been having some tough time with it, as I'm just trying to learn from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I agree. Yeah, 12 scale and Tour Drive probably the most difficult classes to race with and drive.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, let me see if there's one more question in here, and then we'll jump into that clip from you at the 10 scale Worlds last year. Let's see. I thought there was one more in here.
I saw a good one. I can read it out.
Okay, go for it.
I just need to find it. I have it. A question from Dynamo Racing. Love this all. Best way for a young driver to begin to look for a sponsor?
Ooh.
It's a really, really good question. So maybe you want to start, or you want
Sure. Yeah. First of all, I would make sure that kind of like the starting point is you genuinely enjoy RC. If you are getting into it thinking that you're going to make lots of money and get all kinds of cool stuff from sponsors, it's kind of the wrong motivation. So hopefully that's not your motivation. I don't think it is. It's not for most people, but I just want to get that out of the way. Now that you're in RC, you love it, you're going to the track, you're getting competitive, and you're wanting to kind of take it to the next step, which is totally natural. Everyone wants to do that. And then you kind of start to realize, it's kind of expensive. So then you're like, gosh, if I could get some help with this or this, maybe I'll go faster and I can practice more. Totally makes sense. Now, you probably can put me into the category of being very partial or biased, but I have an interesting point, and hopefully you can hear me out. And Michal, he'll give his opinion, because Michal is literally a world-class driver. He finished 3rd last year at the Worlds in the 4-wheel drive class. Like, he has talent. He can get paid. Okay. Me, on the other hand, I think that I am a living, breathing, walking testament to what your average racer probably has more of the opportunity or the likelihood of doing to produce a sponsorship. What do I mean? I have never won a national title, qualified for a national, been to a world's event, or really won any major race in any of the premier classes. Never came close. But I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to lay out the situation. I do have some tremendous sponsorship now that I never thought that I would see based on my driving talent. So what does that mean? The importance of social media, you being able to be a positive voice in your environment, your group of people, and sponsors being able to say, hey, that's our dude. We got him hooked up. He's on the team. It's awesome. And then you can say good things about their product. You can educate people about their product at the local track. And it's a win-win situation just because it's a good old-fashioned PR, brand awareness for that brand. So it's not necessarily so much in every scenario about your results. They do want to see you be competitive, don't get me wrong. But if you can be a good positive voice, draw some people in, help them move some product in some way, shape, or form, I think that that is your greatest opportunity at getting a sponsorship in today's environment. Social media is huge. Start a YouTube channel, start an Instagram page, start to be very vocal. I think that's going to be a huge help into you getting your first sponsor if you don't happen to go out and win something like a national title or the Worlds. So, Michal, do you have any thoughts there?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's to begin with, and then it might be quite a long answer, but hopefully you guys will bear with me. I think, as you said, social media is huge in today's world, and then also it's not only the driving skills you have or the results you get at the track. I think really important is how you connect with people at the track, how you are at the track, if your sportsmanship is good, if you're driving clean, if you're talking to other people at the track and trying to work together, have like a friend group that you always go to the track with, and you talk about the products you run, and you're not always like negative. Oh, I had a terrible run. This guy is terrible, and I have to change this and this. You have to be positive. Everyone can have a worse run. Everyone can have a bad result. Even the professionals like me. I like at the Worlds last year. I was third in four drive, and I was B main in four drive, and I don't want to say that it was a bad result because being main at the World Championships is a huge result for many.
Yeah.
And some of like people like you mentioned, like people cannot even go to the World. So I'm always grateful for the opportunities I have, but you cannot always deliver.
Mm.
So it's not only about the driving skills, and like basing off my story from how I got my first sponsorship and how it all developed. I think for my side, because I'm from Poland, so when I was younger, I didn't really speak too much English. So I couldn't be, and the scene of RC in Poland isn't too big. It's getting bigger, but back then it was quite small. So for me, it was difficult to get to people via social media. So just I think me and my dad have shown our commitment to RC, and we've shown how much we care, how much we enjoy this hobby, our passion about this hobby. And I had some skills at when I was younger, and I was able to podium on at a quite few big events in Europe, like the EOS series.
Cool.
That was the races I started racing at, and how I got my sponsorships. So basically, it's not only about the results, and like most of the viewers are probably from the US. There are lots of companies in the US. They go to the tracks. They see you at the track. So if you just be yourself at the track, be positive, talk to people, be active, and just be positive and confident, and then the results will also come your way when you're like that, and sponsorships should also come as well.
Awesome. Totally agree. So, and like we talked about earlier, Michali's been putting in some work trying to dial up his quality in his social media. So it's kind of like if you do get into it, I would encourage you to make the best content you know how. use the best equipment, get the best setup that you have right now. I'm not saying spend thousands of dollars on equipment, but do the best you can. So it's kind of like in the same sense, you're going to go out and try and go as fast as you can on the track. Make the best content that you can make. It goes hand in hand for me. So good questions. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. If you're just tuning into the stream, thank you. We got Michal with us over here from Poland. He's being a champ, staying up super late. So thank you to him. Many thanks. We're going to go ahead and jump into that clip of you from the Worlds and see what we got going on. So let me get this. I got to transition here away so that I can get everything set up. So nice. Beautiful. Never get tired of it. All right. Let me see here. Let's see. He messaged it to me real quick. Find it. We'll get it pulled up. Get it rocking and rolling. The clip that you sent me, this was, which heat was this?
This is A1 of 4-Drive the Worlds.
A1? Okay.
Yeah, it's basically the whole video is all 3 finals, and I sent you the link to the start of A1.
Okay. Is there a time period that we can jump to that you'll know that we should watch?
At the beginning, I was quite close. I think
Okay.
afterwards they got away a bit.
All right, cool. Well, we'll watch it here. Let me, thank you guys for bearing with me, getting it set up, trying to do this all live. It's a little bit of a challenge. You know, when I make my videos and I can do all the fun stuff and the cool edits and angles, and I have the freedom of doing it through Adobe Premiere at my own leisure, you know, you can make everything happen. You can do whatever you want. But doing this stuff live and cutting from scene to scene, it's a little bit of a, you know, it's some work. So I'm doing the best I can. So thank you guys. I hope that you enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoy making this for you guys. So, okay, let me share screen. Get this dialed in. Okay. Come here. Okay. Almost there. Almost there. Go. Full screen, please. No. Oh, that's the music from the video. Okay, we're good. Hopefully we don't get a copyright strike. We'll just have to hope for the best, guys. All right, jump back in here. Let's put this right about there. Looks good. Okay, so A1 Worlds. We got Michal sitting here, 3rd spot on the grid. How did you feel confident that you had something for these guys, or were you kind of like, they're probably gonna check out a little bit and I gotta lock down 3rd? Like, what was your mental state going into this?
Yeah, I knew that they're fast, but I knew I have something in my car to fight them. So I was really confident going to the finals, but there was a small issue which we'll talk about later, probably.
Oh yes,
yeah,
I remember he told me about this issue in a previous conversation. But okay, let's watch this first.
And they're away. There's a good start from everyone. It seems like the first 4 got away. So Coelho in the orange car with the white wheels leads, and the orange wheels of Fend immediately on his tail as they go around the resin corner, and may even got a little sniff of him. So Orlowski makes it a triumvirate at the top now as they look to pull away. And you can see slightly good little bad landings give you a couple of yards either way. Coelho now picking.
How hard was that quad?
That was really tough. That was the toughest part of the track.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Go around the A main section for the first time, but they are effectively in a train. Orlowski holding on much better than he did in the warm-up final, but then suddenly lost the power.
This straightaway looked really long. Did you run like a faster motor just because of the size of the track?
No, because the grip was really low, so we ran quite high turn motors because of the grip.
What was your turn motor, if you don't mind me asking?
7.5 in forward actually, but with lots of boost.
Okay. So power at the top end.
Yeah, because of the long straight.
So they kind of already checked out a little bit. What was going through your mind now that they kind of created this gap? What was your strategy?
I was just trying to keep up with them because I knew they would be fighting with each other. So just hoping they would have contact and I would go through. That was my hope, I guess.
Okay. when you were going around the track, were you kind of playing with different lines to see if you would gain anything, or were you you had your game plan and you were sticking to it?
I had my lines already figured out in qualifying, but I knew there was something wrong with the car because it wasn't feeling as in the qualifiers on the previous day. So I was just trying my best and just looking at the fight at the front a little bit and just waiting for them to make mistakes.
Oof.
Bruno just get the landing, but now he's got to try and pull him. This is where I think it gets difficult.
Now this was obviously the debut for a TLR car that a lot of us are driving over here. I know you don't have to say anything because you run for a different brand, but did you have any thoughts on the car when you first saw it?
Yeah, there were lots of rumors about TLR bringing out a new car, so everyone were a bit interested in that. And then I think many people were surprised by Dakota's pace because he was very quick, while the other TLR drivers weren't as fast as they should be. How Dakota's car was, so it was a bit of an unknown how the car actually was because Dakota was very fast while the others were all right.
Jeez.
That was the moment I thought I would take over the lead.
Oh yeah, because you could kind of see it out of the corner of your eye, I bet. Oof.
But yeah, unfortunately I lost touch with them and they stayed in the front.
Okay. So jumping into, hang on, let me make you full size again. Okay. What's it like being at the Worlds? Because I mean that there literally is nothing bigger than that event. So there you are, you find yourself third. Can you kind of talk about the amount of like pressure that you had at that, or like what were you thinking? How did it feel when you found yourself in that spot?
Yeah, I mean the pressure is huge at the Worlds, especially when you're running in your like special class. So for me, my specialty is 10 scale off-road. So that's basically the biggest race of my career, and I've been in a few World Championship finals in 10 scale. I made the final in Japan. I started second in 2015. Then I was in the
really?
9-inch. Yeah. And then 2017 I started fourth in Tour Drive, and the last year I started third in Four Drive. So yeah, it is a huge pressure, definitely. But before the race, there's lots of preparations. I don't know about other drivers that make the main, but I prepare myself quite a lot for these races and any race I go to, mentally especially, and just like imagining myself the whole scenery, because this helps me control the pressure during that run. So I was prepared and I was very confident going into that race because we've done lots of testing. I've done my mental preparations, and our both platforms were very confident with them. So during that race, I was feeling fine and I was ready to fight for the win, but unfortunately not this year. Maybe another.
So I know because we talked about this yesterday, and you alluded to it earlier. And this to me, it kind of like makes you human because I've made this mistake many times, and I know that you don't make it this many times, but your car felt different when you went out for the mains and there in A1. What happened?
So the qualifiers from 1 to 4 were on the second day of Full Drive, and then we did a rebuild of the car for the last day, which was Q5, and then 3 sets of finals.
Okay.
So we went to the last day. I had some good runs in qualifying, so I knew I'll be starting quite high on the grid, and just feeling pumped, having a cold shower in the morning. Just to be ready.
Okay.
Wake myself up just make my body ready for the intense pressure that is during the final day of the Worlds, which is like huge. I mean, for anyone that probably was in this situation, I think they will all tell you that it is crazy out there. And Q5 didn't go my way. There was something, I felt like there was something wrong with the car, but I thought it was only the conditions of the track.
Okay, sure.
Because I was trying to stay confident, I like just before A mains, I couldn't be like, oh, there's something wrong with my car, I have to change everything now. I had to stay confident with my drive and with the car. So we stick with what we have. And then, A1 pass, I got third. A2 pass, I got third. A3 pass, I think I don't remember A3 because I knew I already had third in the back. So
right.
I think I didn't have a good finish in A3. So then I made a podium, my first podium at the World. So I was a bit happy, but it's like a sweet and sour feeling. Like I was quite happy, but then also I really wanted to win.
Of course.
But then we go to the restaurant, small celebration. I wasn't too happy, but my team was quite happy with the result. And then my teammate, Jor Neumann, looks at my car and then asks me, "Oh, you're running diff high in the front." I'm like, no, diff low. I always run like this. I look in the car and it's diff high, and so it explained like the whole day of me struggling with the car.
So you were running the diff in a position, and when you rebuilt it, you flipped the insert so it was opposite, right?
Yes, exactly.
Oh man.
So when you're running diff high in the front, it makes the car really like sluggish, not too much steering, just takes the grip off the front.
Oh man.
The car. So that was, and it explained basically everything from that day. I knew there were certain parts of the track that my car didn't feel the same as the previous days, and this explained everything. So I was like shocked. I think it didn't sink in straight away, but then I was very extremely thankful for that third that I got with that car, because I knew it was so difficult to drive in the finals.
Right.
And I was just grateful that I managed to keep my third spot.
If you guys go back and you watch any of those clips, there's times when you can see Michal's car, and we had a conversation yesterday when we were preparing for the stream, and I was asking him, I was like, hey man, your car kind of looked like this, or it was kind of feeling like this, where it didn't seem as like direct or in the track. I was like, what was going on? Was that intentional because of like the grip level or something? And then he was like, well, it's funny you ask, because actually, and then he explained the diff issue, and I was like, oh man. So interesting. And Michal, thank you for being transparent and kind of sharing that with us. I hope that encourages some of you guys out there. If your cars aren't always perfect or you make a mistake, I think it's a good example though. You still went out there and you just made the best of the situation. You just did what you could. You didn't get frustrated and just like give up. So that was awesome that you still podiumed even though you knew something was wrong with your car. I thought that was really cool. Let me jump into the chat here and see if we got any good questions. Sorry, bear with me guys. Let me jump back. I'm gonna do the cool transition here and get some stuff set up. Jump back in, check on you guys, make sure everything's doing good, everybody's feeling good. If you guys have any questions that we haven't addressed yet, please drop them into the chat here. I am checking them out, seeing what you guys got to say. Hope everyone's doing good. I know it's a little bit tough right now that we all cooped up. We got our RC cars, and I stare at mine like every day, and I'm just like, man, there's a couple tracks that are kind of like letting people race with some very strict like pit orientation and kind of like a condensed program. So I'm kind of racing, but it's not like normal racing. Michal, are you racing at all right now, or are you like totally locked down?
Yeah, there is there is a track, an 8-kilo track, like 5 minutes from my home, and it's like open space, so it's not like a club or anything. It's like many people like go on their bikes and ruin the track. So Poland started to open up actually the last couple of days, and the parks are open, the forests are open, so we're able to go to the track for a few days and run some nitro. And yeah, I had a bit of problems over there. I'm
Oh no.
trying to rebuild the car and find out everything and just gain experience. That's all I can do. Gain experience in the nitro class. So that's
Oh.
how I can learn.
Sorry guys, my dog's losing their minds. Obviously they are killing somebody in my backyard right now. No.
I have a really good question from Japan actually. A guy from Japan, Chrysor Bunyar Yid.
Here,
I can
let me
read it out.
Let me pull you back up here, and I'm gonna mute myself for a second, and I can hopefully get my dog under control here for a second. Hold on.
I'll take over the stream now.
Okay, hang on a second, guys. Let me switch Michal over here.
All right, so question from Chrysler Bunyard. Thank you for your question. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Thank you for watching from Japan. How long have you been a sponsored pro driver? So my first sponsorship was back in 2012 from Durango, but of course it wasn't a full professional. So I think since I started driving Schumacher cars, that's where I kinda turned professional because I always go to school. And which I mentioned before, I finished school last Friday, and I'm still waiting for my exams to happen. But because of the whole world situation, we don't know when that will happen. So actually, I'm not a like full professional driver. I think only like last couple of days I've turned full professional because I finished school. So yeah, that's my answer to this question. Then the next question from you: which manufacturer was your first chassis sponsor? That was Team Durango. I joined them in 2012, and my teammates were Jor Neumann, and he's my teammate right now as well, and Hooper Henigel. He drives for X-Ray right now. So it was really good times. I've learned a lot during these times, and then I moved on to Schumacher in 2014. How long have you been sponsored by Schumacher? I've been sponsored by Schumacher since 2014 November. So that's 5.5 years. So it's quite a long time, and I'm planning to continue working with them as I really enjoy our partnership.
Michal, thank you.
Hello, you're
Hi.
back.
Sorry.
I took over your channel for a second.
Thank you, everyone. Give Michal a clap in the chat for me, please.
I hope no one minded.
Oh, I'm sure they didn't. You did great. I could tell. My dog, Billy is his name. So appropriate. He's a bull terrier. Some of you, do you know that breed by chance?
You should bring him to the stream. Show it.
Okay. All right. Okay. I will. I'll go grab him real quick. He's gonna lose his mind. So give me 2 seconds.
I will go for another question.
I'll carry him in.
Give me guys a second. I need to find a question over here. All right. Question from Eddie Rogers. That's the first question I found. Do you think 12 scale will help with throttle control and running up close on someone, even in off-road? I think so. I think 12 scale actually taught me a lot for other classes, and is a really good question to bring up, and thank you for that, Eddie. I think running lots of different categories help you to other ones, which you might. Oh, hello. Oh, I'll finish the question really quickly. So basically, I think if you can run as many other categories, each category will bring something good to the other. So I'm running, let's say, 12 scale like twice a year, and then this will help me in my off-road racing actually. So it's really good to try out different categories. So yeah, I think 12 scale helps a lot, as well as touring car. It helps in off-road. Off-road helps in other categories. So you should really try out different ones. Question from Tom Erickson. Hi Tom, how are you doing? For a race promoter, what would it take to get Michael to travel to the USA for a race, carpet off-road, for example? Well, I love to come to US for like an invitational races, and that's something you have to figure out with Schumacher Racing and talk to them about bringing me to the US to one of your races. So you can contact them on Facebook or on the website and see if you'll be able to get me over there.
Michal,
off to you, Ryan.
If you come here and for some reason we can race at the same track, my goal would be not to get no, oh god, no, you'll smoke me. But my goal would be in a 5-minute race that you would only lap me once. That would be like my goal.
It depends how much advice you will give me on tire prep. Maybe I'll watch like your videos how to prepare tires, and then I'll be all right.
Well, okay, so I'd be curious, because I know you've watched some of my videos, but like the outdoor stuff, like the loose, like red clay, where we run like a normal, like a legit old school pin tire. Do you have a whole lot of experience with that stuff?
Yeah, I mean in Europe, whenever we run, we usually run the Proline Whole Shot, and that's the tire that we usually run in Europe. So I think I'll be all right over there, because I'm guessing you don't use like tire sauce on these tracks. That would be kind of crazy. So yeah, I think I'll be all right on these.
Okay.
Just put the tires on and go.
All right. I'm jumping back into chat here real quick. Oh, you guys, when I brought Billy on, Steve-O Chang, Billy. Yeah, I love Billy, but sometimes he's a handful. But you know, you get what you get with dogs. Sometimes they're just gonna make some noise. Justin Will 75 says, "You guys doing great. I'm learning a lot about what you do with my own YouTube. Cool, man. Right on. Keep on doing what you're doing." Let's see. Zane S says, "We had Bull Terrier growing up." Cool. Awesome. They're really cool dogs because they're a handful for sure, but they're really worth it. They have so much personality. I can definitely say it. Michal, do you have dogs?
I prefer cats. Cats
Okay.
are the best, man.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna have to plead the fifth on that one. No, cats are good too. I don't have any cats. Honestly,
I just love animals. I mean, I would have a dog as well, but for my whole life I had a cat. So
okay, all right, it's okay. Hopefully the dog people in there can forgive you. I'm an animal person.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. See if there's any questions that I'm missing here. In the next segment, I want to jump into. I think the best way to do this is going to be, I can torture Michal and make him watch a little bit of my carpet racing footage, and then I want to see if he has any sort of input, whether it's something that he can tell, like the car isn't good or something. He would immediately do something based on what he's seeing, or just like you be gentle, Michal. Don't totally rip me apart and tell me I suck at carpet. Like, I know I suck at carpet, but you know,
I'll be as nice as I can.
I mean, if you gotta say it like it is, you say it like it is. It's okay. I'll take it. It might take me a minute to get over.
It depends if you prefer the truth, even if it's not so kind, or you prefer a lie, which is the kindest thing in the world. So.
No lies. We stick to the
No
truth here.
lies. Okay.
No lies.
I will speak the truth.
Okay. Oh wait, before we jump into that, Wyatt Brown asked, "Did you name your cat L1?"
No.
What is your cat's name?
didn't. Milky. It's like from the Milky Way.
Oh, Milky. Okay. I didn't know
yeah.
if I was hearing it right. No, I like that. Milky. That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
I would bring him here, but he is at my sister's right now, so he isn't with
okay.
me.
Okay.
I'll show it to you people, but on some of my YouTube videos, he's over there.
The other dog that was in here, if you guys have watched the channel, you know that's Philip. He's my Great Dane. So it's kind of comical. The two dogs that I have, they're like literally polar opposite. Philip, he's very well behaved, very calm. I can take him anywhere. We go to like Home Depot and the hardware stores, and he just loves being around people and checking everything out. And then Billy, he loves being around people too, but he just is so excited, and he's such a handful, and he's just so animated all the time that it's an interesting balance between the two of them. So okay, I gotta jump into the other magical screen where I hide everything that I'm doing so that I can get this queued up. So let me jump to that real quick. Anybody out there, I'm just curious if you're enjoying anything. Cold beverages. I'm enjoying this guy here. It's Terrapin. What is it? The Hopsecutioner. I tried it in one of the variety packs and I really liked it. So I had to pick up another 6-pack of it. Michal, he's just rocking the water.
Yeah. That's if you're a pro, if you driver, you need to drink water, you know.
Right. Yeah, I can afford to
helps your body.
For the record, I'm very active and I do a lot of other things other than RC, but
it's good. I think like people might think it's not too important, but doing the mental preparation and even the physical preparation and going into a big race, I think it's very important. And I know many of the professional drivers, they like drink beer during the race and stuff like that. And I mean, they can do whatever they want, but I really don't see it as a professional like thing to do, especially when like the sponsors pay you to go to a race and you just go out with friends in the evening.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah, to each their own. I'm not going to tell people what they can and can't do by any means, but I definitely agree with you there that it's kind of like maybe when the day is completely over, go out there, have some fun.
Oh yeah,
but
of course.
Like you said, I've seen some guys where they just like party hard on before main day, and I'm just kind of like, wait, that probably isn't a good idea. But hey,
yeah.
Let's see here.
To name anyone, but I've seen a few guys like really party hard before like a big event, and then they weren't able to to bring the results because of that. And it's just really terrible for your image and what you show. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've seen it, been there, know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, so we are going to jump into my first carpet race. You guys have seen this video. We're just going to watch the segment where I show you kind of like the racing footage of it, and hoping Michal can formulate some thoughts, and then we'll look at my setup sheet from this race. And I have some things that I know I want different about the car. So I'm really curious if the combination of him seeing what's going on and me explaining it, and then him looking at a setup sheet, if he can kind of connect the dots and maybe formulate some suggestions as to what I can try differently. So let's jump into it, shall we? Let me jump into this. Share my screen again. Yes, that one. Okay. Move this up a little bit. Bring you guys in here.
Nice track.
Yeah, Beachline. So this is the one that hopefully, if you have some time to come to the States, that this would be the one that you can make a stop at, because Robbie, he has done a phenomenal job at getting this track to be really like a top tier facility, in my opinion. So really excited that I got to race there, experience it for the first time. And we did okay. I was sitting here. That's me sitting second. I knew, however, the car that you can't see sitting back here in the 4th place position, he's kind of like the local hotshot, and he is just like a man on a mission. And he had a DNF in one of the quals, and it was based on qual points, so he just had to go super far back. But he had a lot of pace. But I knew I had a chance, but it was going to be only if I ran a perfect race. I don't think I kept the whole race in this clip, but we'll watch a couple laps, and I'm curious to see what you think here.
All right, let's do it.
This is for all the marbles. This is A2. Racers ready. You guys are going live in less than 5. And we're off. Good, clean start. Boogie. Here we go. It's DJ. Starting on that number 1 position. Trying to take A2 in the overall win. Caution coming off the stair step. Caution coming off the stair step. That's it. Yep, there you go. Clear. DJ, white buggy, Ryan Harris, orange and red buggy.
This was the closest I had been to him all day, and I was kind of like, I was losing my mind at this point. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually staying with him. TJ Bradley, he's one of the locals there at Beachline. TJ, if you're watching, what's up, dude? Okay, so you saw a couple laps. Any thoughts yet?
Yeah, it's a quite open track for a carpet track.
Yes.
So it's very high speed.
Mm-hmm.
And my first question will be, what ride height are you running?
Oh, gosh, dang.
On carpet, the ride height is very important. Basically, as in Europe, you're trying to make the car as low as possible. And we even compensate the landing because of the downsides of the jumps.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I'm running as low as possible. Even when the car flatlands and it double bounces, I know I have to make the downside of the jump to make it stick.
Okay.
So we're running really low. So in the tour drive class, I usually run from 13 to 14 mil ride height.
I want to say it's at 14, but I have a setup sheet.
Yeah.
We'll look at it in a second. But so your first thought was maybe the car looks a little high?
Yeah, because I thought it rolls a bit too much. And basically on a high-speed track, you try to make the car basically stay to the ground as low as possible to not roll. It just go through the corner like a touring car.
Okay.
So basically running probably a bit thicker shock setup just to make the car really like stick to the ground.
Okay, interesting. All right, let me watch a couple other laps here. As far as the driving, are there areas where you can see that it's like, okay, you definitely need to work on this?
From the first couple of laps, not really. I think this track is not too difficult. There aren't any areas that you can like jump a bit further, make up a bit time.
Yeah.
Like here you jumped a bit too wide, but it's just it's just a mistake. Like
right.
On the previous laps, you did exactly right. Very tight there. So from the driving side, I think there isn't much that you can improve, because if the track is quite basic, then you're looking for places you can gain some time. So like staying on the throttle a bit longer, or using the very short straights, just put the throttle down, make the car go.
Yeah.
That's what you do on carpet always. But on a quite open track like this and quite easy, there isn't much places to gain the time. So I think the lap times probably were quite close between the guys over there.
Yeah, I think that their hot laps were a couple tenths quicker than mine. I just didn't have the fine tuning of my setup that I knew I needed. But I actually ran this entire race without making a mistake, and that was the only reason why I ended up finishing second overall. So I was really pumped about it. I thought that I was like, dang, I suck at carpet, but I kept it together for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, this is the most important thing. The best lap, the fastest lap isn't that important. Just the consistency. from watching a few more laps, the jump section, like right beneath the camera, that you have the single jump into the next one. I think you can jump it a bit further, like almost like on the face of the next roller, just to gain this like hundredths of a second. And this,
Okay.
but 100th of a second per lap gives you almost a second. How depends how many laps there are in 5 minutes. It makes quite a big difference at the end of the race.
Okay.
So just looking for those really small areas when you can use the throttle a bit more, make up just a tiny bit of time. It's really helpful on carpet where you have lots of grip, so you can actually push the car to the limits and look for those limits in practice.
Okay. Let me hang on a second. Let me pull up the setup sheet here. And I know obviously you don't run TLR cars, but just based on what you see, could you possibly make some suggestions of things that I might try?
Yeah, let's check it out.
All right, hang on, getting it queued up here. Let me make sure. Let me see if you guys have any questions there based on what we just watched. If you think that I am the worst driver in the world, totally understand. But let me jump back up here a little bit, see if I'm missing anything. If you guys have questions about carpet or anything like that, drop them into the chat. That's what we're here for. It's what Michal definitely can answer for you. Let's see. Back to my talking about what I was enjoying tonight. Dustin Spallone. Dustin, what's up, dude? Thank you for tuning in. Hope you do good at the Oval tomorrow. Gonna miss you. Gonna try and get some new Reds in action for me. Getting ready for my next Super Cup race. Gonna bust out the 2-wheel and the 4-wheel. Just burn up some good old-fashioned high-bite indoor dirt track. For those of you that don't know what New Reds is. Let's see. Tom Action says he's enjoying some lemon lime Gatorade. All right, man. You do you. Whatever sounds good. Lane Johnson says he drives better with 3 beers in him. I sneak him in because the track is a family deal. Come on, man. Gotta keep PG. Tom Erickson recognizes that's Dave Duncan on the mic. Yes, it is. DD on the horn, doing a good job. It's always good when we go to these local events here. He always does a fantastic job running a program, and he keeps the races always exciting. So if you guys are in Florida and you run at a Super Cup event, or I think even sometimes he is on the horn at some of the A-scale races at the 4 Series, you'll hear him there as well. Sometimes, I believe. Might be wrong, but I think I've heard him there before. Jacob Smith asks, where is Beachline located? It is located in Cocoa Beach, Florida. It was I think, I forget the name of the track, what it was before. I think it was called Space Coast, and then transitioned into Beachline, and it was a indoor dirt track. They made it into an AstroTurf track, and now it is a full-on black CRC carpet track like we just watched. So, pretty cool. Let's see. What else? Permin Johans asked, hi Ryan, hi Michael. Ryan, which motor do you use at the rave? I don't know. I think we're referring to the track. Oh, at the racetrack. Okay.
I think race.
Yeah, at the race. The motor that I used at that particular race, and pretty much all of my races there for my 2-wheel drive car, is going to be the Trinity X Factor motor. I was playing around with rotors between the turquoise and the copper colored rotor, and I like the turquoise rotor at that particular event. Just had a little bit different power band, and just something I liked. But normally I run the TEP 1119 rotor in my X Factors, and then I run the 13.5 in my 4-wheel. So really excited about that. Let's see, am I missing anything else? E-Racer says, shout out please. Sure, why not, man? Thanks for tuning into the stream. Hope you're having a good time. What turn motor was I running? The motor turns I run in the spec class, so it was 17.5 for the 2-wheel and 13.5 for the 4-wheel. I didn't have any footage of the 4-wheel because I didn't run 4-wheel that weekend. New Reds in Ocala. Yep, that's the one, Tom. Okay. I think I'm getting up to getting the questions caught up. Sorry, there's a lot of them in there. I'm trying to get to as many of them as possible. Michal, if there was anything in that comment that we put in the group, was there something that you saw in there that was worth answering or going through? I just wanted to check and touch base.
People basically were excited for the live stream.
Same.
That's all.
Yeah, I put a question in one of the TLR team groups or one of the 22 Empire, I think it was. And actually, you know what? I'll jump in there right now and see if there was a good question before I forget. Let's see. Okay. We're jumping in. Had a few comments in there. If any of you guys are watching, thanks for those questions that you put in there. If you're watching this after the fact, thank you all the same. James said, it was a fun idea. Too bad it will leave me depressed. I can't go to the track. So for those of you that can't go to a track, I'm sorry. Hopefully this stream is keeping you entertained and getting you through this not so fun time that we have right now. Let's see. Let's find a question. Jay Call said, anything to increase forward bite when stuck on a pipe. Yeah, man. Just you gotta stay off the pipe, and then you have all the forward bite you want. Okay.
Turn your wheels left to right. It makes the car like jiggle a bit.
Yeah.
So it catches grip.
Sometimes if it's only like a little bit stuck, and you can kind of like wiggle it a little bit before the marshal gets there, it's definitely a thing. I should do a video about that.
Then the marshal gets furious when he runs for his life to put your car on your wheels, and then you get away just before he picks up your car.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. I have an interesting one. Let me you know what? Let me just screen share this. And then we can jump in here and we can look at these questions, and then you guys can also see what we got going on. So hang on just a second. Let's do this. I'm going to get this queued up. Yes, that's the screen. Okay. Let's see if I got my scene selection all set up. I do. Here we go. We're just gonna, just like that, snap of a finger, transition so fast. Okay, so this was the question that I put in here. I just asked anyone. My hope and goal was that, hey, if you guys can put a setup sheet in here, we'll take a look at it. And if you want the car to do something different, then let's talk about it. Maybe we can make some suggestions. It didn't look like anyone had any setups kind of like on hand, ready to go. So this is what we got. And I think that we had a couple questions in here. So there was one, where was it? This one here. Creed asked, I can make this bigger so people can see. Weight transfer. How do I get rid of so much of the weight transfer? I feel like the car has on turf, and would the Stiffazel side guards make a difference with that? Okay, so with the TLR cars, for those of you that don't know, you have the option of running some different side braces to kind of increase or reduce the rigidity of the chassis. So yes, that's a thing. However, I am not convinced that this is the issue if you're worried about weight transfer. I'm kind of leaning towards probably some sort of shock oil or spring combination needs to be adjusted before we would look at chassis braces. Michal, am I kind of on the right path here?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the chassis braces, the side stiffeners, change the car when you're going through the corner, so the chassis is flexing going through the corner. And if you want to get rid of the weight transfer, I think the biggest thing that many people forget about is that the car, like the front end, is connected to the rear end, so you cannot like think, all right, the front of the car is too soft, So I just go way thick over there because they forget about the rear. So like when the car picks up the inside rear wheel going into the corner, you can actually make the rear softer and also front harder, not only front harder because it might not change enough. So you need to remember that the weight transfer is the front and rear of the car. It's not only like one-sided.
Okay, I like that. Now, one thing, kind of like a side note, because I like Michal just mentioned, you're looking at it in a kind of probably not the right way. But if we are talking about chassis braces, if we're just going to talk about that, that's actually really interesting. It's something that in the TLR car, we can run the chassis braces on the two wheel. They come in a soft, standard, and stiff as L as far as the options. And I really like the car when I run the soft chassis braces. The way that the car kind of flexes a little bit. I actually liked it even on carpet. I played around with it a little bit, and the difference between running the stiff one and the soft one, I kind of like the car with a little bit of flex. But now Michal and I were on two completely different platforms, but I'm curious, is there anything that you guys play around with the Schumacher cars in regards to the chassis stiffness?
Yeah, so I run also the most amount of flex in my car, even on carpet.
Huh.
So we have a plastic side stiffener, and I also take out the back screws on the side of the side stiffeners just to add a bit more flex to the rear end of the car. I feel like on carpet you might think, all right, I need to make the car really stiff, no flex because there is so much grip.
Right.
But actually you need quite a lot of flex in the car, and it helps generally in the two drive class. As we're talking about two drive, I think it's on the exit of the corner. I think you really need lots of flex to make the car steer, because when there is so much grip on carpet, you really lack the exit steering. So having that flex in the car really helps you to exit the corner way quicker than if you had no flex.
Okay, this is actually a perfect transition into, we'll come back to these questions in a second. I want to pull up this. This was my setup from that track. And I've since the track has had a change, and I've gone back, and the track became a lot slower because it was much more technical, tighter, a lot more like short straights instead of like long running straightaways like we saw in the clip that we just watched. And so when I went back, this setup really struggled with getting the car to quickly get into the corner and rotate and just kind of like get out. It just, everything kind of came to like a slow, and it just had a really tough time getting in and out. And so looking at this setup, I'm like, okay, I want to do some stuff. We have to change some things so that this car can get in and out and rotate like a beast going through the corner. With that said, I know you probably don't know a whole lot about the TLR setup, but as far as mechanically, what would be the first couple places that you would look at making a change with your carpet knowledge?
Yeah, I'm trying to get my head around this setup. If we can go to the rear suspension, I think if you're talking about making the car rotate, I think the rear suspension is the most important. So having the diff as high as possible, that's the first thing, and I can see you have that already, so that's good.
Okay.
I see that you're running same cambers front and rear. So what I found is to run like you are running as well, 1.5 in the front, but 0.5 in the back to
Really?
make so almost make it like straight, almost no camber. So you have a bit more forward drive. The tire wears same on the whole like surface of it, and you get a bit more rotation from the back of the car. So that's the first thing I can see.
Okay.
The battery position number 1 is the most forward one. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I thought it would be easier for me.
No, it's okay.
Trying...
Would you look at all at the stroke? Just given that it is what it is at 29 millimeters, would you think at all to say, oh, we should go less or more or anything in between?
I think stroke is something that a company, like a team, develops, and you should stick with it. I don't think you should play around with it too much. I know some like other teams play with it quite a lot, but we usually stick with the same everywhere we go and play with other things.
Okay, good to know. What about people seem to always ask questions about things pertaining to like your rear link setup, given what it is here. And I understand that you don't run the car, you don't have a setup for it, but just based on your knowledge and things you might try, where I have it at 0-0, would you think to increase one or the other and put some shims in there?
I would add, so on the camber link plate, you have 0 spacer, right? 0 millimeter.
We're talking about the outer link or the inner link?
On the inner, that's 0.
Yes.
I would go more over there.
Okay.
I would make the angle of the camber link a bit more. So I think this will definitely give you a bit more rotation. That's what I found in my tour drive carpet running. But also there is a point that if you go beyond this point, it will be completely the other way. So it really depends how high is the basic setting for your car. But definitely I play around with these shims the most on carpet to get the angle of the link and the length of the link right. I think that for me that's the most important thing.
Okay, so maybe the next time I went out there running, like just go a millimeter, add a millimeter, add another one, and just see what happens, kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Try 1 millimeter like per run, not to go like I'll go 3 millimeters right now. This doesn't make sense. Just go step by step.
Okay.
And see what it does.
Now, what about so we talk about angle, adding shims here and there.
Yeah.
What about the overall length? Would you think about like making it longer or shorter compared to what it is now?
So for a open track like we've seen on the video, I would go a bit longer length than the like if the track is open, then go longer length. If the track is tight, go shorter, because when you have lots of sweepers that you carry the speed, you have to make the car roll to get the steering actually. So some people might think if you go long link in the back, it gives you more grip, less rotation on the sweepers, but that's actually wrong. I think when even on high grip like the CRC black carpet, if you have the sweepers like on that track, you need the rear of the car to actually roll quite a lot to make it steer. So having quite a long link, but not the longest one. That's what I run in my cars. So on the inboard, I run the outside hole, and on the outboard, so on the hub, we have 4 holes, and I run third from the inside.
Okay.
But I can't really see on this setup which setting you're running. You must tell me.
So I'm running Camberlink inner is at the number 2 position.
Okay.
So that would be it's you can see here this is the indication for the rear bulkhead. So we're in the middle in the forward position, and then the outer camber link is in the B spot, so kind of in the middle and forward as well.
So what I found is if I run on the inner hole on the inboard, it makes the car really lazy, which we don't really want. So I would try running the the third hole, so the more
The-
outside one,
Hmm.
and then maybe try to go even more outside on the hub.
Oh, so
Try
go
to
to
move out tilling.
I guess that would be the A, or
Yeah.
I forget what orientation I'm looking at,
Yeah,
honestly.
whatever
Whatever the
side it
outside
is.
spot would be. Okay.
Yeah, but first I would change the inner one and then change the outer one to go step by step, as I've said before.
Okay. I would definitely, and this is stuff that it's so easy to change. And if I'm just out there
Yeah.
on a club race day, you know, if I'm going from one qualifier to the next, is going to be really easy to change those things because you don't have to take much apart. So definitely want to try those things. Now we talked a little bit yesterday offline because I threw a random question at you about my diff, and I threw this number out there that I'm running 100K in the diff, and then I explained why. And then you said, yeah, definitely probably should try running a lower diff oil. Can you kind of explain that, why you would say that?
So basically, some time ago, we are all running quite thin oils, like 7K, 10K. Sometimes I would run like 15 and with 4 gears. That was like 3 years ago.
Okay.
And then a trend started to run like 200K in the diff with 2 gears or something like that, which to us seemed quite crazy. So we've never like stepped up and tried this. We thought this is something to make the car work because the rest of the car doesn't work. So we've always sticked with thin diff oil. So I'm basically in my tour drive running 7K with 2 gears. That's my basic setting for every carpet track. And in my opinion, running the very, very thick diff oil makes it really good on power. So exiting the corner straight is quite good. On tight hairpins, it might be good as well because of the thick rear diff oil, the car loses traction on low speed, so it just makes the rear a bit slide a bit. But in my opinion, on such a track like we've seen, I think you should run like a 10K diff with 2 gears, and then you might try a bit thinner to get a bit more steering in the high speed corners, and try that. And if the car is diffing out, then go a bit higher. But in my opinion, such thick oil isn't good. But if that's what you found the best during testing, then you should stick with it. You know, it's not something like if I say it's better, then it's definitely better. It's just my opinion from what we have run. But if you found for your driving style this is better, then obviously you should stick with it.
So going back to, in case anyone just jumped into the middle of this conversation, or in case you forgot what I had mentioned just a moment ago, I went back to this track and I experienced a problem. My problem was that the car just struggled to get into the corner and get through it quickly. I was getting my doors blown off by everyone else that had a much freer car that just initiated, turned, and rotated. So we're looking at this setup sheet and he's giving some opinions on what I could try to do differently to get the car to do what I want, which is to turn quicker and just rotate and get through the corner and not bog down like I'm experiencing currently. So, okay, we talked about some camber links. We talked about my diff situation. Okay, what we could talk about like weight distribution. If there's anything there that you could suggest that I might do differently. Let me move this up so that it's out of the way. Okay. Right now, all of my weight on this setup is right under my battery. And that was putting me a few grams over the minimum there for the spec class and the two-wheel drive car. But as far as weight distribution, again, I know we have different cars, but would you think to try anything different as far as weight distribution?
Yeah, so in our car, basically all my additional weight is in the front of the car. So I have a shin splitter, a brass shin splitter. I have a under servo weight, and then I have the electronics plate brass. So
Okay.
my car is also right there on the limit, and I try to be always on the limit for any surface. Try to have my cars as light as possible. but I would try the brass electronics plate because it's almost the same weight as the battery plate. Just move the weight forward, so the weight balance is a bit more forward because all the cars now are laid down, so the car is very heavy in the back, and on
Mm.
carpet you need a bit more weight different, and then you also reduce the weight transfer because the weight is a bit more balanced.
Okay, so basically just taking that big old chunk of weight that I have here and
Yeah.
moving it forward. For the record, if any of my TLR homies are watching and you're about to give me grief, I had just gotten the car, more or less, and a lot of the weight option parts I couldn't get a hold of. They were out of stock. This is the only thing that I could put in the car. There is a brass electronics plate that TLR makes, and it's really nice because you just mount it up right there and you can put all your electronics on it. And it is now, I had just done a little bit of wrenching on my carpet car and I have that in there, and I'm going to test it the next time I go to the track. So I'm glad that Michal is confirming that that's a good idea, that I try that.
Definitely.
Cool. Okay. As far as tires, I know that you're going to run the Schumacher tires. Those are going to be really good on carpet. Everybody loves those tires. If you're out there running whatever you want, that's always going to be a good choice. I think that these are...
I have a few more suggestions.
Okay, yeah. What do you got?
We quit. So, your track brake, I can see you're at 0. I think you should run a bit more. I know in stock you probably, but you're in stock. Then I'm not too sure. For me in modified, I run like 14%, so quite a lot, just to make the car steer straight away when I'm off power. So it's really good for an open track, but for stock, I'm not sure about that.
Well, the theory there is, I think, so that we kind of explain it for everyone else, is that if you run drag brake, you're as soon as you're off power, you're initiating the steering process because you're initiating the weight transfer immediately. So getting all that weight on the nose, that's the theory. The problem why Michal's kind of saying like, oh, I don't know if you want to do that with stock, is because we don't have all of the horsepower that a mod car has. So we're trying to keep as much momentum at all times, pretty much. But if my problem is that the car isn't steering and initiating, getting into the corner, his suggestion would be try some drag brake. So definitely would be something I would try. And then, lap times are going to be the true judge of progress or not. So yeah, next time I go out there, I could dial in like 10% drag brake and see what happens.
Yeah, I'll definitely try that out. And then I can see also you're running sway bars, 1.2 in the front and 1.4 in the back.
Yeah.
For our car, I never run sway bar in the front, but I remember from your video that you said you are gluing the sidewall of the tire, so I'm guessing the car is quite aggressive. So probably without that front sway bar, it would be too hard to drive. But I would actually try the rear sway bar a bit softer, a bit thinner, to make the rear of the car roll a bit more, so you get more exit steering.
Okay.
Out of the corner. And also on the video, I think that's one thing that I would improve on the car, is that exit steering, which we always look for because of the really high grip in the two-wheel drive class. And I think running the thinner sway bar would help.
Okay. Go to a thinner rear sway bar. Definitely a pretty easy change. I could try that for sure. And I'd be curious actually to maybe do something where I just go out on a run and I try no sway bar at all. And because what I did is I had the front sidewall glued halfway up on the Proline Prism. And what I could possibly try is go out and do no sway bar, and I could glue up a little bit more on the sidewall and kind of like see if there's like a fine line there, and maybe I gain something if I do that. I don't know. I'm definitely not a carpet expert with any car, let alone this car. I'm still in the testing phase of trying things out and seeing what might work. I know though that for those of you out there, if you're not a master of carpet, that doing something like that would probably take the car from what was already at like, wow, this is aggressive. And then doing something like that would be like, oh my gosh, this is insane. So
yeah, probably.
yeah, definitely, you know, experimented on a practice run. Don't do that in the middle of like, oh, I'm going to go out for my main here. I'm just going to try and run no front sway bar. Probably a bad idea if you haven't tested that out before. Okay, cool. Any other suggestions that you saw?
The last thing is the rare CVAs you're running on carpet. We're always running universals.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
So you should definitely try it out. I'm pretty sure this will give you like 2 times per lap, at least.
Okay, cool. I can definitely try that out.
You have to let me know after you try these things out if at least one of them helps you.
Yeah, I will for sure. I'm super eager to go back there and hopefully find some progress in the car. I don't know what the layout will be the next time I go back, but I know the shortcomings that I have, and I'm eager to improve on them so that I can be a little bit more competitive in the carpet world, because right now I'm not.
And try to drive without the front wing. I know it's a popular trend to have the front wing in the two-drive class.
Okay.
But for me, always when I run it, I just felt like it makes the car inconsistent. So I never run it. You can see it on any of my chassis foxes or like the videos. I never have a front wing in my tour drive. I tried it a few times in the past, but recently I've never run it. I know it looks cool, but I feel like it makes my car a bit inconsistent.
Okay. Well, I can definitely, that's an easy thing. Just take it off for a run and see how it goes. I can definitely do that.
Yeah, and also the hub height in the front of the car. You have your hub high, and we always run hub low, so this gives a bit more steering. So you might try it as well to make the car turn a bit more.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I could definitely try that as well. A lot of good stuff. Thank you, man. I appreciate you giving me some insight there and some things that I can try. I'll definitely be eager to try them out.
I really hope some of them work.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they will, man. I'm definitely not worried about that.
Maybe you'll win every race now.
Every single one.
Yep.
No, next time I'll go there. I'll probably get the car like really good, but then I'll just like crash like 5 times in my main and just blow out. That's the way it goes. You got a really good car and then goes out the window.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me jump into the chat here. Probably one last time. We've been streaming now for a couple hours. So for those of you that've been with us, thank you so much for sticking around and throwing in the questions and just kind of like watching and hanging out with us. I really appreciate that. Let's see if there's anything in the chat here before we call it quits on this QUARANSTREAM number 2 with the one and only Michal Orlowski. Let's see.
Feels like 10 minutes for me, and it's already light outside. There's sun rising.
Oh gosh, guys, we got to give it up for Michal on this one. You know, ruining his sleep schedule all for the stream. I appreciate it, man. All right, let's see if we got any questions here. I just asked. I don't want to miss anyone here. Let's see. Jacob Smith is asking, is carpet gaining more popularity over dirt or clay? Been out of the RC racing loop. Definitely here in the States, I would probably say that dirt is more popular for the US. What's the situation like over where you're racing?
Yeah, I think definitely dirt isn't too popular in 10 scale scene.
Okay.
Of course, 8 scale, there are lots of tracks around Europe that are dirt and clay. But in my opinion, AstroTurf and carpet, it's where it's at in Europe right now. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay. Malditos 561 says, have you run the TLR Stadium truck? Not recently. I did a couple years ago have the TLR, the 22T 3.0, and that truck was great. But I have yet to get a truck. I'll probably get one the next time I get ready to go out to a bigger race event where I run all those classes, but I don't have one at the moment. So keen to hear Michael's benefits on the belt drive Cat L1 versus all the other current cars using shaft drive. Okay, so that was on Cam 31. He just wants to know your thoughts on belt drive versus shaft drive. You have any thoughts there?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think it's in our opinion. I know many people think the shaft is much better, and that's why everyone are switched to it. But actually, we think, and we also are really proud that we are the only car with belts, because it makes us different. It's what we want to do.
Sure.
And when we did testing, and basically with the platform we have developed, it's because of the belts, we have a different chassis flex distribution compared to any other shaft shaft drive car.
Yeah.
And also, in my opinion, it's not too good for the hobby to see so many cars on a almost identical layout of the chassis.
Okay.
So we are different. We try to be different every time. We try to do better, and we are really confident with our platform, with the belt drive. And I think the results we have with the results we have proved that it's actually a good platform. So hopefully we'll continue proving that that we are the belts are good, and we think they are.
Cool. That's awesome. It's cool to see. I think that having those different platforms, the competition is there, and you kind of like, they want to prove their method with one, and then we're proving our method with the other. So I think it's cool. Yeah. Like you said, it's good that got some different stuff going on out there for sure. Let's see. Brad Coleman says, Ryan, have you seen the new Tamiya TC01, and did you the re-release of Kyosho, the 4-wheel drive pan car? Yeah, that 112 scale pan car from Kyosho looks really cool. It's wild. It has like a old school like chain. I think it's a retro like re-release. Did you see that one, Michal?
No, I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds quite exciting.
Yeah, I'm not.
I have to look it up.
That one's worth looking at for sure, because I was wild. I thought they were just doing like a throwback Thursday kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, it's being re-released. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
I think the re-releases are quite popular nowadays. Like Schumacher do some of them as well, and many other companies do them also.
I definitely have really no reason to race it, but yes, it's a cool looking car. I saw it, and I hope that there's some people out there that can maybe get them together and run them together. They'll probably have some fun. Yeah, a 4-wheel drive 12 scale car sounds insane.
It must be fast.
Yeah. Oh geez. Okay. Tom coming in with some this is awesome. Ryan and Michal, thanks Tom, appreciate you. You've been here for the whole stream. You're a champ. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's see. Oh gosh. Oh, lots of comments when we were talking about the diff weight fluid in there. Let's see if there's anything else. RC next Tuesday said, Yoga, how's it going, guys, from the UK? What's going on, man? Thanks for tuning into the stream. It's
4 a.m. in the UK right now.
Yeah, that's nuts. Thanks for sticking it out with us. I think that this is going to be, I'm just making sure I'm not missing any questions in here. We had a lot. Danimo Racing says, thanks for the live chat. Such a great source of info during this CV19 break. You both are great mentors. Ryan, your background is great as always. Take care. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. You know, I gotta, if I can't go fast on the track, I gotta step it up, you know, raise the bar for all these live streamers out here in the RC world. Michal's getting there.
In my background.
No, it's good. I like it. It's clean. You know, you don't have a mess. Clean. I've seen a lot of streams out there where people just kind of like throw it wherever, and it's like, dude, guys, you got a lot of stuff going on back there.
I like the purple light.
Oh yeah, you got to get the lights in. That's what all the pro streamers have these days, is the RGB setup. Yeah, when I dial in my stream, so this light right here behind me, my pit light, that has a color temperature that I can set where it can be like really warm or really cool. And I specifically picked that color temperature. And the same thing for my fish tank. I can change that color temperature. So like everything is set very precisely.
It's like a car setup.
Exactly. I have to do all this and I make sure it's all good. And then I have to dial in, like here, I'll cut to, sorry, hang on a second, Michal. So this camera shot, I have this all dialed in. I have to dial in the shutter speed, the aperture, the ISO, the color temperature, the color profile, so that this all looks as good as I can get it for the stream. And that nice shallow depth of field, so the background is blurry. And then the same thing for this camera. It's a different shot for this shot here. Shallow depth of field, so it's kind of like soft in the background. So I kind of like, you know, separated from the background a little bit. And then the audio's dialed in. Like Michal was saying at the beginning of the stream, this is overwhelming. It's a lot of stuff to get right.
It is.
Well, I think that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for the questions. Michal, if you have anything that you want to say, any thank yous or shout outs that you haven't done yet, please take a moment, say whatever you need to say to the people out there watching.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. If you're from Europe, then even bigger thank you, because it's like morning now. So have a good night, everyone in the US. Have a good day in Europe. Thank you, Ryan, for having me. It was a pleasure. Hopefully we can do some more of these, and it was a blast, definitely, with you guys in the chat asking so many questions. So I'm really happy to share the information with you guys, and as well as on my YouTube channel. I think I just want to share with you guys all the experience I gained throughout my career to share with you, so you guys can improve your racing skills in RC. And me and Trish, my mechanic, are both trying to get to you guys via social media to just help you guys out and however we can. So
Awesome.
Thank you again. Hopefully we'll get back to racing as soon as possible, and see you next time.
Awesome. Michal, thank you so much. I'm going to cut to an outro here, so I will say bye to you here. Thank you so much for jumping on the call with me so late until your early morning and helping me with my setup and giving us some insights of running with the best of the best out there. I hope and wish you the best, and you continue to give us that awesome content that you've been working on lately. I know how much work it is, especially with a top tier race program that you have. So please, from the bottom of my heart, I hope you continue that stuff for me and for the rest of us watching. I really hope that you can continue that stuff.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Ryan, and I will definitely.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michal. I will catch up with you later.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. Well, guys, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, everyone that's stuck around in the stream. Hunter, I saw you in the chat. I'm sorry I didn't say hi to you earlier. Hunter King, everyone. He's one of my fellow TLR drivers. He is super awesome, and I appreciate running with him locally. We get to battle and bounce setup ideas off of each other. So Hunter, I'm looking forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. Everyone else, all my local buddies that jumped into the chat, if I didn't say hi to you, I'm sorry. I try to catch everything in there and shout out everyone as much as I can without holding the program down too much. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing these with you guys. I know there's a lot of other live streams out there, so hopefully it's not too much white noise for you at this point with all the other streams going on. I hope I didn't step on anyone else's toes that had a live stream going out there as well. But thank you so much for watching. If you guys are watching this after the fact, hopefully I'll do another one in the future. Stay posted on all my social media channels. You can add me on Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Sub to the channel if you're not. Come on, guys. I mean, sub to the channel. We'll be doing more races and tutorials and tips and all that stuff in the future. So if you need that stuff, do need that stuff, tune in, sub. You'll see it in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching. That's it for this time. I will see you in the next one. My name is Ryan Styles Harris. Good night, everyone.